this first game is very, very important for their confidence.
Oh, 100% would agree. And we just had the opportunity to look at the bracket and how teams have gone through. It's kind of interesting to see that Villains actually got their first loss in the first series, and then they've done a lower bracket run, something that we don't really talk about too often. Doing that lower bracket run can give you that edge. It gives you that pressure to say, we have to win these matches. So the nerve could potentially be there.
Yeah, as a Scout gets rid, gives it to TK. We will start this off now. Asmo puts it into the middle of the wall, but nobody is there for it. TK will put a little bit of a touch on it, but Asmo says, nope, I'm hitting you, gets him out of the way. Ames might have a little bit of a touch in at Scout. That's a very good pass, but Viz predicts it, gets rid, so does Asmo.
It's already some interesting team plays coming out for Dynasty. Hopefully they can continue that good observation and good awareness. Having that position where they can go for those infield passes will be very, very strong as the series does progress. That's a good shot by TK. Narrowly misses, but Scout comes through. The pressure is still on, but finally they managed to get a touch away, but they're not out of the woods yet here. Villains need to try and put this into an offensive position.
Yeah, it looks like it's a good start from Dynasty, even though they came from a 3-0 down. It looks as if they've been playing... Ooh, Asmo nearly gets that one. Scarf might have this one, but Scout with a good save, uncredited, but well played. It looks like it's going to be, even though there hasn't been any goals yet, it does look like there's going to be a lot of goals. It feels like you're going to have those 7-goal kind of games every time, because they're just, both teams are playing very well team-wise and just booting it towards goal. You're going to get chances. You're going to get shots that just go in out of nowhere, especially from kickoff and stuff like that, and getting good momentum goals. As there's a chance where TK gets rid, Garth puts it up into the middle, and there's 3 minutes on the clock, still no goals. That might... Oh, no.
Just for those that aren't very aware, Villains on the blue side, Dynasty on the orange side. And I 100% agree there, Foxy. I feel as though this is going to be a high-scoring affair, but I actually feel as though it might be an affair of mistakes rather than striking potential. Although Viz, perfect execution there, does manage to get the first goal of this series.
Yeah, just a little bit of a touch on it. Just that small little angle change that just puts it down straight away. Did that well. That's a good start for the boys in blue.
Very good start indeed, especially when they think about their series beforehand. They had to come from a reverse sweep, and they're continuing with that momentum into this match. First goal in the opening half of this game, number 1. Obviously, best of 5 as well. No advantage here, so it is even pegging. But Dynasty will have a bit of a mental disadvantage coming off a pretty decent loss in the match before, so they'll have to try and reset and get themselves into this match, which is going to be a tough one against Villains.
Yep, and it looks like at the moment, even though we said this would be a high attacking affair, it seems as if they're playing more on the defensive side. The boys at Villains, they're just playing a little bit back, just making sure that TK doesn't get anything going, Scout doesn't get anything going in terms of solo plays. And there is the boy himself. 1-1, 2 minutes to go, and he gets that little bit of a touch on it just to get them the equalizer.
Look at that reaction time. Look at... I'm speechless looking at that, especially considering we had that angle to see him react to that. What a play by TK, bringing his team back to an equal scoreline with 2 minutes remaining.
So 2 minutes to go here. Next goal is massive in terms of momentum, as well as probably winning the game, as TK puts it right up in the air, but Asmo will make sure. But TK then says, nope, you're not having it, and blows him up. It seems like a TK and Asmo party at the moment in terms of getting to the ball and blowing each other up and bashing each other right in the middle. But Viz puts it into an Orky spot. Asmo couldn't get there. Scout banged him in the back, but Scarth couldn't quite get there. Minute 20 on the clock, still 1-1.
There's a lot of mistakes, a lot of rush touches coming through in this middle section of this match. You can see the desperation coming through from both teams, but no one really cleaning up or taking the time to reset. There's a nice touch there. That could potentially go in, but Viz does manage to save. He should get a second touch here with boost. Asmo's already up. He's going to put it straight on net, but he misses. Does draw out the defender a little bit, but that could have been an opportunity.
50 seconds to go on the clock. Here's a chance for Ames, but Asmo says nope and puts it off to the side. Gout goes up for it, just hits it on the roof. Scarf takes his time on this, tries to get a flip, couldn't. And now it's 2v1 as Ames and Asmo. Ames beats him. That's a big goal. 2-1.
This is some awkward positioning here. You can see Asmo going for the back boost. Doesn't have a lot to work with and tries to get himself in a position, but Ames, great patience there. Saw exactly where to position himself to get the shot and executes flawlessly. They were down at the beginning, but they do manage to take the lead in this dying minute.
30 seconds to go, and the boys in blue need to get one, and they need to get it now. They're going all attacking. You can see it. So now Viz gets a touch on it, but doesn't get anything else on it. Asmo gets hit. Scarf puts it up into the corner. Asmo leaves it. They both leave it, and now there's an open goal up the other end. Ames hits it, but Scarf does well. Gets back, gives them a little bit of a chance with 10 seconds to go on the clock, and Viz find Asmo, who's further up. Viz tries to get a touch on it. Tries to get a touch on it to Asmo. Well saved by TK. 5 seconds to go on the clock. Scarf over to the side. Nobody's there. Ames can boot it back up, and they're going to have to go end to end. Viz can't get to it. Dynasty will take the first game.
Very interesting start. We had Villains come out nice and strong, getting that opening goal, but Dynasty just holding out and being very, very consistent with their positioning. There were less double commits coming out of Dynasty as well compared to Villains. You saw a couple of times Villains going for those, I guess that lack of communication, both going for the same ball at the same time, put them in really awkward positions on the way back defensively. So something that they might need to think about and clean up. But as we saw in the series before, Villains not really, I guess, that upset to be down. They definitely have the potential to bring themselves back into this series.
Yeah, it does feel like a bit of a coin flip in this situation. I think that being the Villains are 1-0 down now, and looking at that game, it does seem like we're just going to have a bit of a coin flip kind of feeling in this series in terms of games. You're going to get one going one way and one going another, and it's just going to be who can take that big chance when needed to get their side the win.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a game of mistakes as well. Both of these teams very polished in their mechanical skills, understand the game at a very high level. Is going to be who can make the best decision, not double committing, not going for those mistakes, and having that extra luck going their way. Already Villains coming out nice and strong, putting on a lot of pressure. You can see that Dynasty a little bit confused, not a lot of boost to work with, and just trying to rush towards this play, trying to get some momentum back, but Villains not having any part of that.
So here we go, 4:30 to go on the clock, and Asmo's just going to take his time on this, just boom it up there, but Ames is there. Viz might get to this, and he does. Asmo's in a position where he can put some pressure on, but he says, no, I'm going to get back. Very smart play as Scout gets something on it. Asmo goes back. He did well to get back and get the ball a second time, but couldn't quite get to it. 4 minutes on the clock, and that's a chance, but Scout couldn't quite get to it on the Orkies play, but TK goes with the back pass. It was very weird, but got there in the end. 3:45 on the clock.
Oh, that's a nice bump there. That's an open net. No, the touch!
You got it.
I was going to lose my mind. Obviously, completely unforced. Scout just trying to come down after getting that nice bump onto Asmo, but what a play. Great awareness there from Scout to go for the bump instead of trying to go for the air dribble. It allowed that shot to come through, and they take the lead.
Yeah, I mean, that's an unconventional way to score. You're going forwards, and it hits your butt and goes in on the forward momentum. It's been a while since I've seen a goal like that, but just like that, Scarf says nope, 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 nope. 1-1, gets it back.
That was a great demo there by, I think it was Viz, I'm pretty sure. Just moved upfield, very high commit, considering both his teammates were committing to the ball. You had Asmo and Scarf both on ball side. That was a very risky play, but it did pay dividends.
Yeah, and that's the play that that the boys of Villains have been doing very well with this season. Getting those kickoff goals when momentum doesn't seem to be going their side. It just kind of puts a little bit of a pressure off your chest, trying to score, and you try to do a big play to get back and equalize when you can just do it 5 seconds in on kickoff. It makes it so much easier.
It definitely does make it easier, especially when you need that momentum going forward. So Hopefully they can hold on. Scarth now with the ball is going to try and go for a bit of a solo play. He's got to try and beat out two. That's a big commit there by TK. Luckily, Scout is there for the pass. Nice pass up to Ames. He'll put it on the backboard, which Viz is there and waiting. So a bit of ping pong coming out of both these teams as they try and reset as the score is equal, moving towards this halfway mark.
Viz just takes his time, gets the boost, but he's a bit slow to the ball there. It allows Ames to get to it, gets another touch on it. There could be an open shot here for Scout, but well done from Viz to get back. Ames puts it in the middle, Asmo to Scarth. We've said that a lot throughout the day. Garth gets a little bit of a touch on it. Scarth, good pass, but nobody's there. TK doesn't get there. Viz goes again. No, he does not. He will just stay down on it. TK will get rid. 2 minutes on the clock. Next goal is massive.
It is definitely going to be massive. I feel as though these are going to be low-scoring matches, potentially one-goal differences as well. So it's going to be exciting to see how this moves forward. A brilliant touch there by Viz. He was backwards to the ball, going inside his net, but he managed to get the ball onto the backboard to a teammate. So some good defense coming there. But Scarth is completely out of the loop. He's very awkward in Scout. What a steal.
Oh, I tell you what, that's gone down. Scarth just absolutely thought it was going to hit the crossbar and play it on from there. It's hit the bottom of the crossbar, gone in. Just a misread, if you really want to call it that, but just wonderful shooting. Just good, get it towards goal. Something might happen, and that's exactly what did happen. And we'll have to see if they can get that big goal, but there's the big goal on the side of Ames. They've taken a 2-goal lead.
I love the way TK played this. Went slow, got the high flick. Asmari just couldn't get to the touch. Viz going for that quick cheat as well, turning around on that rotation. Just could not do anything, and Scarth being left again in the net with no options. What a play by Dynasty. I
was about to say, it's the second time in about 10 seconds that Scarth has sat there waiting for the ball to go down, and instead it's gone in. Just a bit unfortunate, but here's a chance from TK, who goes twice, finds Ames, and that's game over for game 2, that's for sure. Ames gets another one. Momentum is all on the side of Dynasty.
That's a great example, chat, of how you can draw out a defender. You can see both of them are on ground level. They're expecting a shot from TK to come through. He puts it on the backboard. You get the double commit. That's an easy shot into net. That's exactly what you want to do when you have two defenders in net. You want to draw them into committing one way or the other and then put the shot in. Well executed, and a great momentum shift for Dynasty.
You reckon they're playing another reverse sweep strat? You reckon they're going for reverse sweep again, villains? Because at the moment, to be honest with you, they don't look like doing it because they're just not. They look like a different team than what they did when they reverse swept before. It's just a bit slow. It just seems as if they're tired. They're a bit, you know what I mean? That's well done from Scout to back up Ames there to make sure that didn't go in, but. It just seems like a slower kind of play. TK is doing very well on the side of Dynasty. The only worry I do have on the side of Dynasty is that they're going to have to keep this momentum up coming into playing Croquettes if they do manage to win this series. If they keep playing like this and keep the momentum on, they can come into the next series and have a bit of momentum in terms of, well done from Scarth there, a bit too late, but just get a bit of momentum. Give themselves a little bit of a chance against Croquettes.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I feel as though Villains, compared to the last series, they do seem like they're just making more mistakes, where the series before, it just seemed like they were a little bit slow. But you can't really make an adjustment for mistakes. You just have to, chalk it up to, all right, we're probably playing a little bit too hectic. We're not really thinking about our touches too well. We're getting into odd positions. And a bit of a consolation goal there for Dynasty, but it does seem like Dynasty are just controlling the momentum. They're forcing 50s to their advantage. They just seem to be better equipped at this point to take on the challenge.
Yeah. The confidence seems to definitely have disappeared on the side of Villains. I highly doubt that Scarth will say anything in chat this time to get in people's heads, because he's got to worry about his own game at the moment. He's got to worry about his team's game. Scarth doing well there with 502 points. I mean, he's always brilliant. There's just a lack of I don't know, composure from the side of Villains, if you really want to call it that. Few too many mistakes when needed, but Dynasty doing well in that game in terms of not, I mean, TK did really, really well game one and got MVP and stuff like that. And even with him only getting two assists in that one, they won 5-2. So, I mean, if you put, the two together and have TK have a really good game, but also have Scout names, they can beat Crockets. They really can. It just depends on if they can get that formula working.
Yeah, I would 100% agree. And I feel like even though TK didn't seem to have a high scoring game, the score is always going to be very, I guess, a massive indicator on how influential you are touching the ball. But TK was doing really well with his rotations. He was very aware, and it comes with good communication as well to see that he was cutting the ball, putting it in a good position when he was rotating back. So he wasn't so much always being the person getting the goals or the saves, but he was putting his team in good position. So it's like he's aware of his role in the team.
So here we go. 5 minutes for Scarth to start popping off. And now they score. And we're in that same story again where it gets to game 3 and they get that early goal and everyone starts talking about, reverse sweep is reverse sweep on and all that kind of stuff. I don't think it's as obvious this time as it was last time when it got to this kind of stage. But, I mean, that was weird. They just completely faked the kickoff and they ate the bait. They said, okay, you're going to fake the kickoff. We'll actually go for shot. It hit the bottom of the crossbar and nearly went in.
I think what might have happened for Dynasty is they went for a bit of a slightly different kickoff. And it just happened to be the time that Villains were doing the fake kickoff strat. They did do that quite successfully, Villains, in the previous series where they went for that fake kickoff, caught their a position off guard and managed to make a good play out of it. But it seems like it's not going to work against Dynasty in this particular series. So it's going to be a rough time. But, they do have the lead now, Villains. They just got to find a way to hold it and keep their opposition out of the match.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see now that they do have the lead if they can hold it and start getting a few more goals in and start getting that confidence and Scarth maybe starting to get a bit of, trash talk getting in and all that like we saw before and get a bit of deja vu going, and maybe that's how the boys of Villains get back into this series. But they're going to need more than just the one goal. They're going to need to get some momentum going. They're going to have to, start put some pressure on the ball, especially with TK on it here. He can just pop off at any stage. Ames just fakes it there, but Scarth says no, hits it out of the way. Oh, here's a chance for TK. Viz does not get the save. TK gets it in, and there's the equalizer.
That was a nice shot there by TK. Just lurked in the right position. And this is what I mean by him just going for those shallow rotations. He's very aware that, all right, we have one person going for the ball. That means that I'm second. My teammate's going to be behind me if a shot comes out. So he has great spatial awareness to know when to go for those cuts, and how they have turned out for him have been absolutely fantastic so far. And that's a beautiful shot again. Again, TK going for the pass, going for the shot, but the save by Asmo has come through. There's no extra goal there. It's still an equal scoreline.
Double save there from Asmo. Did very well with the first one to make sure it didn't go in, and then got back, got the second one. Very good defensive play from Asmo. That's more like the Asmo we know. Able to get those defensive plays and get them going. 3 minutes to go, still 1-1 as Scout puts it out into the middle. Tries to get a play going, but it goes to TK, who's actually stayed up ahead, which now Ames will turn. Viz will just put it over to the corner, surely. But that's a wonderful pass from TK, and Asmo once again gets the save when needed.
A double commit there, but TK still defensive side, so it doesn't work out to be that dangerous. Now Scout with the ball is going to go for a bit of a solo play. Great read by Viz, but it's going to be Ames up, looking for the pass for TK. Manages to get it. That's going down to Scout, but the fake comes through. TK now has to try and put pressure on the ball, but Viz gets a touch forward. Doesn't have a lot of boost to work with, but does get met by Scout, who puts the ball straight back and forth between both of the teams. Nice touch there by TK onto Scout. The redirect comes through, but Scarth with the save.
Yeah, 3 minutes in, and it just seems as if Asmo and Scarth are kind of just getting plays together. Viz just seems to be in, not no man's land, but just kind of seems to be where the ball isn't a lot of the time. He's only had 40 score in 3.5 minutes, and he seems to be that third man back, and it just hasn't gotten to him. Maybe, yeah, here we go. Just get a bit more into the game. Get yourself into it. Get a few touches and see if you can get yourself that big one.
I think as well, what we saw from previous series was Viz was very much a solo player, and Dynasty are doing a very good job at just cutting out a lot of these early solo plays, so it hasn't given any time or space to Viz to do what he loves to do, and that's just a credit to their opposition. They're adjusting to the players that they're versing.
So here we go, 1 minute to go, and the next goal is massive in this one as Ames blows up Asmo and then goes up for it himself to try and get rid of that ball that was looking a bit awkward, but Asmo will then try and... Oh, that is just going to waterfall down, and nobody's there for it. Biz puts it up. Scarth is going to miss that one. Asmo's going to get the shot off, but it's only going to go as far as Scout. Scout's going to try and go all the way. Scout's got no boost, gets reared. 45 seconds to go, still 1-1 as Viz puts it out into the middle. Ames gets the hit. Asmo puts it down to the middle, and Scarth gets the hit just to get back into their side. But 30 seconds to go. Oh, Scarth! No. Off the corner. Angle shot. What clutch goal that is when needed.
That's a beautiful angle. You can see Scarth was intentionally just trying to put that into the middle of the field, just was hoping that a teammate would be there, but he read it so well that it was just a direct shot. They weren't ready for it, and that is a steal of a century there coming through for the Villains team. Hopefully they can maintain this lead. There is still 20 seconds on the field, and if we've seen anything by Dynasty, they are definitely not out until the final second. Scout now with the ball is going to hit up Ames. He puts it on the backboard. Scarth reads it, but they're still on the defensive side. TK trying to hit up a teammate. Ames and Viz both miss it, and this is now the opportunity for them to kill the ball. They need the ball to drop. TK can't keep it up, and Villains again, Game 3 have turned it around, stealing away the win to give themselves that extra opportunity to potentially go through further in this series.
Someone say reverse sweep. No,
We don't,
just
we
me.
don't say that.
No. Okay.
All right, not yet. Not yet. I mean, Scarth, 653 points in that one. It just looked like a completely different Scarth. But once again, that's what happened last series. Is that they were 2 games down and they were looking out of it, and now they're back in it. I mean, they only had 5 shots in that one compared to Tennessee's 10. They're definitely got to put a lot more shots on target. They've definitely got to try and put a lot more, just a lot more pressure on the ball. But if they can, this isn't over.
You can never really count out a team until that final second has gone through and there's an announced a winner, because, you know, as we've seen from Villains, they can step up in a big way. And Scarth has just shown time and time again, when the chips are down, when they need him for the team to rise, he will step up and be a massive influence. Hopefully this is going to be the start of something big for Villains, but you just never know. Hopefully, you know, it does inspire them to just keep pushing.
Viz into the middle, tries to get something going, but there was nobody there for it. So instead it just ends up going back. Asmo will just stay back into the middle there, just wait for something to happen, but couldn't quite. Scarth will get back here, but Scout might be able to get a chance on it. Does not.
Well, that's some good pressure there by Scout. He managed to disrupt Scarth in a way that didn't affect the challenge coming through by his teammate. Scarth does get on the ball. Scout puts it in the middle. Nice challenge there by Ames, but does get beaten out. And now Villains on the counter attack. That's a bit of a miss there, but Asmo will come through. The huge Dominus body gets it, and that is a great first goal for Villains.
Just put all of the power into it, and it just somehow keeps rolling after TK touches it about 3 times, and he says, you know what, I'll touch it one more time and the ball will go in. It was just interesting. TK there was nothing else he could have done in that situation, and the ball still rolled in.
Yeah, very Fireburner-esque, that play there coming from Asbo. Just got the 50, put his body behind it very, very nicely to follow it through, and got that first goal. So a good position for Villains to be in now. You can see the demo play almost coming through there for Villains, but it does get sniped out quite easily. Now, what can Scout do? Gets the challenge, aims his up, puts it on the backboard. Scarf somehow still read the play, but there is still pressure mounting for Dynasty. Nice touch there by Viz. Ames will get the 50, but it seems like they can hold on and not give away a goal just yet.
Viz gets rid in a very good way because it allows them to get all the way back. TK has no boost. He's got to get back. Scarf only hits down to the ground. Ames will get it up there, but only as far as Ames blows it up. Asmo tries to get something on it, but Scout just puts a little bit of a touch on it. Scarf might have a chance here. Even though he got blown up, it nearly went in. TK does well to jump off the wall as well, but couldn't get a touch on it. 3 minutes to go. Still 1-0. Looks like pressure is all on the side of Villains.
That's a good 50 to come through with
Whoa.
TK. He's got the space. He will slot that one in. I definitely think that'll be above 100. It is 111 kilometers an hour. Great 50 from Ames, but TK, massive shot.
Yeah, but big play from Ames. Ames made that goal. He just made sure that he got a little bit of a touch on it just to put it in that position for TK. And it looked easy. It wasn't, but he had a lot of space. He had a lot of space to go there and did very well. And it was because of Ames' good block on the ball to make sure that they had the chance there.
Asmo now with the ball, gets met by Scout. TK again upfield, just being a bit of a nuisance, manages to get a bump there. It's open, but Viz cuts it shallow, does manage to get a touch there, and he'll now go for the solo play. Great read across one. Can he get there? No! TK almost managing to get there, but Viz, look at this solo play. Great touch on the ball, gives himself that space. Bang! Gives himself the lead right at the halfway mark.
Just a bit of a weird rotation from the side of TK and Scout. They were both going around the same way, and so one had to take the boost and one didn't. And it allowed the time for Viz to get the shot off and the chance. As Viz on that one nearly gets it, but TK does well. And now all of a sudden all the attacking pressure is coming as Viz gets something on that. And now Asmo doesn't get that. They've got to get back quickly. Scarf misses the ball completely, and TK has the easiest goal of his life.
Unfortunately, that was looking to be the situation. You could see that Villains were hard pressing there, and they were hoping that they could manage to get the shot on. But when you're putting the ball off the backboard and you don't have that rotation to keep that pressure on, it makes it very hard for the last defender. Scarf doing as much as he could, but he could not anticipate the touch, and it does result in an equal scoreline once again. All that hard work that Villain have put into their attack, all mitigated with that one mistake.
I was too busy laughing at what Guru said. He said a bit slower in his retirement age. But yeah, I mean, I guess. But it seemed to me as if he was just a little too far forward in that position. But 2-2, minute 40 to go. They know for a fact that the next goal is big, because if they concede it, all of a sudden it could be over. Scout tried to get something there. TK's just got to get a little tap on this and get back. But Ames does well, and Scout might have a chance, but Viz gets rid. He's done well there. TK is on his own. He'll go himself, and Asmo says, no, I'm a big Dominus. I will get in the way.
Oh, there's a bump there by TK. Nearly gets it off there. There's a lot of pressure. Bodies are flying at the ball at the moment, trying to get that last and potentially final goal to seal the deal, but they couldn't manage it. And now the long shot comes through. Scout can't get there, and Asmo steals away another shot. 1 minute remaining, less than 1 minute remaining, 57 seconds, and Villains take the lead. Could this potentially take us to game 5 once again with Villains being on the back foot? Oh, it's just a great Rocket League either way.
Asmo just with that big bang and nobody there to stop it. And Scout was just a little too far forward, and it allowed the goal. 45 seconds to go. All of a sudden, we could be getting another game 5 with reverse sweep potential as Ames blows up Scarf. He says no. Viz puts it up in the corner, tries to create something awkward. TK has to put it into his own corner, which allows Scarf to get another angle shot on it. And now game 5 is definitely on the cards.
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate there. You can see Scout getting bumped out of the goal. The rotation there coming through for Villains, working in their favor. And Scarth, again, he loves that angle. He loves that upper right corner, puts the ball in the back of the net. And with 30 seconds remaining, 2 goals. They need a goal here. That's an open net. TK! He had the opportunity. Ames puts it in. All right. There's still a chance. There's still a chance. TK just obviously nerves coming through. Tried to put the shot in. Was very fast at that challenge. But that was a great infield by Scout into Ames. And they breathe a sigh of relief as they now are only 1 goal down. 25 seconds remaining.
Let's go. 25 seconds to go. See if they do anything special. They do. They went for a weird kickoff. It didn't work, but TK's there to make sure. Once again, he's heading into that corner where somebody could have got it, but 15 seconds to go. They can take their time. Asmo's going to try and cut this off, but doesn't. Ames takes their boost, tries to get a passing play, but missed the ball. TK missed the ball as well, but he still goes, tries to hit Asmo, but doesn't. 3 seconds on the clock. Ames tries to create a play. Asmo will leave it, which means that ball is going to bounce. Game 5.
I just can't believe that we are at a game 5. We looked at, again, those first 2 matches were like, all right, Dynasties have this wrapped up. We see a lot of mistakes coming through from Villains, and they're looking like they're just a little bit outpaced by Dynasty. But then you can see that the calm, cool collectedness of Scarth leading his team to victory at the moment in a massive way. Honestly, you can't discount him, retired or not. He is a menace on the field. And now we have another situation. Game 5 again. Winner takes all in this next match to try and beat the Crockets in the grand final.
You can tell when Scarth is confident and when he's starting to play well, because he starts to talk in chat and he starts to try and get in other people's heads. We saw it last game and now he's doing it again. He is confident. He is happy. He reckons he has some kind of chance here to bring them back and get them into a grand final, basically for free, if you want to think about it in terms of 2 reverse sweeps in a row, which basically put yourself in a grand final for free, in terms of you've got nothing to lose in this situation. Villains can just go and try and get these big goals and get themselves a big win out of nowhere.
That's it. Villains have nothing to lose when their chips are down, when they are at the point where they have to step up. They have been. They've been stepping up in a huge way. And, we need to ask the question now. Do Dynasty have what it takes to stop them? Because at the moment, it's very much, as you said, a coin flip to whether who takes this match.
I think that Dynasty at the moment are definitely nervous, but you wouldn't think so because Scouts hit the roof. It's come back down. Nobody's there to stop it, and it's one of those fortunate balls that just goes down. Nobody's there to stop it. Asmo wasn't in the right spot for it. 1-0 Dynasty.
Nice shot comes out in the quick chat. It definitely is the perfect description of that shot. Scout, very aware that Scarth was challenging, goes for the roof, was potentially just trying to put it in the right spot for his teammate, but it was so good that it was directly on. Great start for Dynasty.
And here's a chance for Asmo to get the equalizer, but he misses it. He missed the entire ball. Scout now in an Orkie's position, but does well. Asmo turns on it, knowing that. Ames gets rid and stops Scarth's chance there off the pass. Viz turns on it, but now there's a chance for Scout. Will Asmo get up there and stop it? He will. It'll only go as far as TK. TK might get another touch on it here, but he has no boost. But they're not to know that. Ames tries to find Scout. TK still has no boost, as now he turns onto it. Still has no boost as he's on the wall. And now Viz couldn't get there. Scarth puts it into a weird position for them, but Asmo puts it up. Tries to get something going. Scout's just going to go for a boom. He has 0 boost. He has to get back. 3:45 on the clock, still 1-0.
Yeah, not a little boost to work with for Dynasty, but it does work in their favor, and it just shows you if you're rotating in the right position, you can still, boost or not, have a lot of influence on the play. TK now going for a bit of a solo, chasing Scarth down, trying to put him in an awkward position, but Scarth, that cool, calm collectedness working in his favor again, avoids a demo and still gets the touch forward. So now it's the position where TK needs to try and do something for his team. Scarth with the infield shot, but Ames, nice touch there into the corner.
Very good pass. Couldn't quite get there, Scarth. He'll get his chance. He'll get his big chance. We know that. Scarth turns onto it. He's only got 19 boost, but he still fakes that jump. Still gets it there. Viz tries to knock it down, but Ames will go around, stop it, Ames didn't get anything on it. Asmo did. So TK now, as he goes around, Ames is going to try and create a passing play, but it only goes as far as Viz. Scout will then boom it. Asmo will go up for it, and it's kind of at that slow time. But now we're seeing demos. We're seeing we're seeing a lot of demos from the side of Scout, who's just putting things on, trying his best to make sure that they can get that second goal any way they can. There's 2 minutes 30 on the clock, and it remains 1-0.
TK doing a good job there, just being very speedy to the ball, gives his team an opportunity to go through. Ames with 0 boost, but TK with the support. The bounce pass is good. And what a play. You can see Ames, if he had an ounce of boots left, he would have gone for the double. He was perfectly in line, but luckily he didn't actually touch it, which is good. It allowed TK to get the goal and potentially make this a very, very difficult game for Villains to get back into.
Very, very good pass. Very good play. It was one of those plays where, well, if you don't score the goal in the double, well, at least you're going to get the good pass going in, and that's what happened. And here's a chance for Scout, 3-0.
Ames has been the best passing player, the great teammate that he's needed to be. I love his adaptability there, the recovery to get that pass infield, especially considering his momentum was going in the opposite direction. Pure excellence coming out of the Dynasty team.
Ames reckons it's over. He's already said for sweeper. He's already started the trash talk. He reckons they've got it all the way. There's 2 minutes on the clock, and I would never count out a team that has Scarf in it. You can't be too confident yet. There's always that chance of the comeback, especially with Scarf on the team. 1:45 on the clock. TK puts it up into the corner, tries to go himself, doesn't quite get there. 1:40 on the clock. Viz to Asmo, back to Viz, back to Scarf, who then has no one to give it to because they're both in the same position. Scout just tries to waste some time, puts it up in the air, gives it to TK. Asmo might have a chance here to get one back, and here's Viz! Saved by Ames!
That was a clutch save. That could have been the turnaround that Villains were looking for, but Ames shuts that down. Ames, for me, 100% in this final match, the MVP. Again, Ames coming through. He's still putting pressure on the ball, doesn't have boost, but he forces out a touch from Asmo, and this is perfect. They're wasting time. They're counting down the clock. Oh,
that's a goal up the other end if they can get it to Ames. Ames is there, TK's there, somebody get it. No! 1 minute to go on the clock, and they need 3 goals in a minute. It will take a miracle now. Viz up and in the corner, tries to get something going. Asmo, too high. 45 seconds to go on the clock. Viz tries to get a shot off. He does. Asmo's there. It hits the crossbar. Orky's in front. Asmo hits the post, and that's probably going to do it. Here's Ames. Goes up the other end, and a chance to win it. And Scout wins it. There it is. Dynasty will be in the grand final.
Oh, just absolutely brilliant play coming out from Ames. He's stepped up. He's been a nuisance. He's done everything that he's needed to do. He's gone for infield passes. He's put the shots in. He's put the bumps in. He gets the saves. There's nothing that he hasn't done in this match that hasn't been pure excellence. And at this point in time, they need this momentum going into the next game. They did lose to the Crockets in the series before, but this is going to be huge for them, both mentally and emotionally moving forward.
Oh, they're going to be very happy that they've gotten at least second. In their eyes, that they'll have nothing to lose against Crockets. They're going to be one behind against Crockets, knowing the way that the grand final works. It's going to be a hard ask. It's going to be a very, very hard ask. Anything is possible with this side and how TK plays and how Scout plays going up forward. But this, it's going to be a monumental task. But if anybody's going to do it, it's going to be this Dynasty side.